your kids have the right to a safe, healthy, and moral education. And if you feel that that isn't happening where your kids go to school, then you owe it to them to make a change. Hey, everyone. I am here at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm glad I finally made it. I was up at 4 a.m, made my way here because we have a problem with our public school systems and our institutions of higher learning. That problem is fundamentally changing the face of America. It is changing who we are. It is certainly putting our families and our institutions in danger. It is as if the Marxists realized long ago in this crazy game of, fighting freedom, fighting America. The socialists and the Marxists realize if we just infiltrate these institutions, we will own this nation. This experiment will be ours. And we're seeing it. How is it possible that the University of Pennsylvania's president, Liz Magill, Harvard's president, Claudine Gay, MIT's president, Sally Kornbluth, how is it when they testified before Congress, they had no idea how to answer a very simple question, one that historically these educators should have been able to answer? And that is regarding the genocide of the Jewish people. How could it be that in a nation where we are supposed to honor and uplift freedom, where we are supposed to honor people and protect each other from these horrors, which, by the way, are crimes against humanity, how is it that these universities are the institutions that are pushing for the hate? How is it that they cannot simply answer a question as to whether or not genocide of the Jewish people should be advocated or expressed as an option on campuses? How is it that you can hear every single day now, since, by the way, October 7th, and I'll explain to you why this is so important as we move along, but since the horrors that we saw on October 7th were barbarian demons from Hamas went in and slaughtered innocent women and children, just took their lives away, how is it that you hear on campuses, F the Jews, and that isn't a problem? How is that acceptable? And what does it mean to have free speech? And what is it that our children are learning in these campuses that, by the way, cost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time some of our children graduate from them, whether it's Harvard, MIT, UPenn? How is this? How is this even possible? I started thinking about all of this. I started thinking about what was happening in our elementary schools and our high schools, how kids are exposed to radical gender ideology, forced into diversity training and anti-American history and civics. In college with the pro-Hamas protesters, and I'm here and I see them on the streets, take over the classrooms, and student unions espouse anti-Israeli talking points, and people can't even say that genocide is wrong. People won't even say it out loud. They say, oh, well, that's debatable. It depends on which side you stand on. There is no side to genocide. That's a fact. I didn't expect that to rhyme, but there really is no side to genocide. What does this sound like? Does this sound like the America that our families have fought for, that our brothers and sisters and husbands have fought for? Does this sound like the America that the rest of the world looks to find a place of safe haven, of freedom? I've been thinking about all of this because I was recently in Florida. I was there emceeing the Moms for America, amazing group of women that are fighting for our children and our families and our communities. I got back from emceeing that event and I was able to meet with President Trump really quickly, got a great picture with him, spoke to him briefly about what it is we are fighting for in this amazing nation of ours, which is, by the way, slipping through our very hands, slipping through our hands. And we are the frogs slowly boiling, and our children are being played as useful idiots by these ideological monsters that are planning on fundamentally changing the face of our nation forever. I'll be right back with more, but first, Allegiance Gold. Imagine a future where your retirement is protected from the storms of volatility, the erosive forces of inflation, recession, government meddling, and economic uncertainties. And what do I say all the time? We need to diversify, right? Diversify, diversify, diversify. Don't get stuck putting all your eggs in one basket. And right now, you can get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you visit protectwithsara.com today. That's protectwithsara.com today. With over 50 years of combined experience, millions of dollars in completed transactions, resulting in thousands of satisfied clients, and I'll say that again, thousands, helped us earn the most trusted gold IRA firm in the nation, folks. Get up to $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you visit protectwithsara.com today, or give them a call at 877-702 Sara, SARA. Don't wait. Take control of your retirement today. Call 877-702-SARA and speak with one of their experts. They'll answer all of your questions and help you get started on a path to a more secure and prosperous retirement. Time is of the essence, folks. Protect your future with Allegiance Gold. Visit protectwithsara.com. That's protectwithsara.com. Okay. So here I am at the event in Mar-a-Lago. It was absolutely beautiful. The weather was picture perfect. So I went from like last week, 82 degrees. By the way, in the most gorgeous place in all of Florida. I would suggest probably one of the most beautiful buildings and I would say dining halls in America, is Mar-a-Lago. Just these amazingly beautiful, giant crystal chandeliers inlaid in gold, and just such a spectacular environment, such a beautiful view of in Florida, and these sprawling acres. And I'm supposed to believe it's only worth $18 million. That's such a joke. It is a joke. It is a joke on the judge, right? Because the rest of the world sees what's happening here. And the reason why I bring that up is because here I am in Mar-a-Lago. I'm in the beautiful ballroom, the grand ballroom, right? For this event. I'm emceeing the Moms for America event. President Trump was a special guest at this event. He came to speak for these conservative mothers and give his support, and they were giving them their support as well. Because this is what's so important, and this is what President Trump, and I believe so many of us realize now, is that our families and our children are the targets. This is not about, even the battle, even the political battle with President Trump. This isn't about him. It is about us. It is about protecting our children. It is being able to speak up and speak out and be able to call out injustice when we see it. And we're seeing it across the board. Let me give you an example. So if you're on a public school campus, right? I was blessed at the time of COVID. My daughter was at a local Catholic school in Alexandria, Virginia, in elementary school. It's a small school. It is not very expensive. Comparatively, it was in my parish. I went to the Catholic church right there. So I was blessed to be able to have her in that school. And I was blessed because the priest that was there stood up to all of this insanity. He was willing to stand up, even to the Vatican. He didn't care. He was like, no, we're not going to do this to our children. You literally have to have a federal reason, like you're going to have to pull us out to make us shut down the school. And eventually they did. But he kept the kids in school for as long as he could. But we saw what was happening to so many of our children. We saw what was happening when the schools had basically not only shut down, but the teachers had shut down on our kids. I would drive around and I would see kids basically running around in Alexandria with no supervision, no homework, 2 years wasted. But that's when parents woke up. That's when I woke up. I started to talk to some of my friends who were in Loudoun County, and they were saying to me, I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what they're teaching my children. I can't believe this junk that they call education. It's unacceptable to me. Parents started speaking out. Of course, that eventually led to Governor Youngkin getting elected as the governor in Virginia. It was a huge upset because obviously parents, whether they were Democrats or Republicans or independents, were fed up with their children being the targets of these radical ideologists. They're not Democrats. They're Marxists. They're Marxists. So I'm at the event. I'm emceeing the event. And I'm talking to moms there, like moms like Sam Sorbo, who I love. She's a good friend of mine. And Kimberly Fletcher, who runs Moms for America and goes all over the country in her van, you know, meeting people at a grassroots level, talking to moms about what is it we need to do? What can we fight, you know, legally? How do we take the money that's raised through this beautiful organization and then put it in use in the right direction? And then I started thinking about, wow, we were really asleep at the wheel, folks. Our children, our most precious treasure on planet Earth. It should be. I mean, there should be nothing worth more than our kids were being like handed over to lions and predators inside school systems that are paid for with our tax dollars. But we handed them over. It was like the lion's den, right? It was like the lion's den. And we know that. And we know that because we all watched that testimony. Oh my gosh. That testimony from, as I said, at the top of the show, those 3 presidents of these prestigious, supposedly the most elite universities in America. President Liz Magill of UPenn, Harvard's Claudine Gay, and MIT's Sally Kornbluth. I want to play that clip for you right now with Congresswoman Stefanik questioning them. I want you to take a listen to this and just tell me you're not blown away.
At Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. Magill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If it is, if the
yes
speech
or
becomes,
no?
if the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. Magill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes.
How is that possible? How is it possible that these so-called leaders of these institutions they sound, oh my gosh, they sound like Nazis. Let's just be honest. They sound like they don't even care. They sound like, well, if it's like this moral equivalency is like on genocide, this is unbelievable. Not only is it terrifying, but there is a really bizarre double standard across the board at all of these institutions. They would not allow Ben Shapiro at some of these institutions to speak. A conservative. In other conservatives, these institutions will go after anybody that they feel doesn't actually toe their propaganda and their narratives. And what they will do is they will literally come after those people that they feel don't reflect their crazy ideological narratives. They're lying to you. And they're lying to your children in the schools. And they are making your children out to be victims when they should not be victims, when they should be successful parts of a productive society. They should not be living 3 blocks from here in a messed up neighborhood with gangbangers and drugs all over the streets. All those kids should have the same opportunities as every other kid. But the Democrats are lying. And these professors are lying. They're saying that they're victims. Victims of what? Victims, they are only victims of their policies that have put them there. This is why right now we have 1 year. But it's not just about the presidential elections. This is about voting at the local levels. This is the reason why Moms for America and all these other groups are so important. This is why all of the Soros type money that these globalists are using to target our elections, they are targeting our elections. They really are. The district attorneys have been backed by George Soros. Just look at the Los Angeles Times. And all these district attorneys that are targeting President Trump are doing so to interfere in an election, to basically make his life a living hell and make him miserable and everyone else around him, thinking that's going to slow the process down. But it's not, because they don't know who they're messing with. They're messing with someone who doesn't give a shit and who is going to go after them. But that requires us to do our part. We need to get our butts out of the couch, off of the couch, out of the house, down to our school districts. We need to get involved. We need to find out what's going on in our communities. We need to hold those people accountable. We need to stand up there like other parents and be like, hey, you are not going to read this to my children. Guess what? I'm going to read it to you right now at the school board and make them uncomfortable and read all of that sexually explicit junk and trash that they are trying to teach our kids back to them and expose them and put them on video and put them all over the internet. That should be our goal all across America. Just get your cameras and just videotape all of these jerks, just like Stefanik did with these 3 losers who are incapable of saying that genocide is unacceptable. Things are not good in American schools, folks. Things are not good in our schools, and our children are going to suffer for it. But it's not just our children and our families. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's our entire nation. And those that are doing the damage know it. But first, let me tell you about ExpressVPN, because I want to give you tools. I want to give you tools to fight back. So you guys stick around, because I'm going to tell you how we can do it together. But first, ExpressVPN. Thank you so much for being a sponsor of the Sara Carter Show. This Christmas, as you are pounding down potatoes and gravy, I want you to think about everything you've looked at on your phone in the last few days. I think everything I've looked at is being looked at by somebody else. Guess why they're not now? Because I've got ExpressVPN. Who is in charge of the Wi-Fi you've been enjoying all of that content on? Is it your dad, your sister-in-law, your grandmother? Well, guess what? That person has access to all the websites you've been looking at, unless you do what I do and use ExpressVPN. I trust it. I trust the fact that ExpressVPN is going to protect my privacy. And I talk about your privacy rights all the time. Take control. Do it yourself. Take control of your privacy. Get ExpressVPN. Right now, you can get ExpressVPN's holiday special offer. Go to expressvpn.com/Sara, S-A-R-A, right now. And you can get 3 months extra free. That's Express, E-X-P-R-E-S-S, VPN.com/Sara, S-A-R-A, expressvpn.com/Sara to learn more. Folks, remember your voice. Remember that you are the ones in charge. Remember that together, speaking up and speaking out, we are going to make a difference. That's why all the Moms for America are standing up. That's why organizations like Kimberly Fletcher's are doing so phenomenal and raising money, because there are more of us than there are of them out there. We just have to be willing to stand up and take this fight to them. Take this fight and fight for your children. Fight for our nation. It's a great fight, folks. It's an important battle. It's one that we should not just give up. It's one that we are required by our founding fathers, by those that have given everything, and most importantly, by God, not to give up. That is how important you are. Each and every single one of you is a soldier in this fight. And we don't have a lot of time left. We have very little time to make a difference. And then we just got to keep doing it and keep fighting for it and keep holding on to it. It's not exhausting. It's actually really super satisfying to put a Democrat in their place. You'll love it. You'll feel so good. And I'm telling you, you will want to do it every single day, and you will want to fight for your children. It's going to make you feel so good about yourself. Your kids have the right to a safe, healthy, and moral education. And if you feel that that isn't happening where your kids go to school, then you owe it to them to make a change. Find those resources, get informed, and get involved. We have a generation to save, and get out there. Check out Moms for America. They may be one of the best resources for all you moms and dads out there to get like the tools that you need so that you can fight in your own communities. And join us in doing that. Please make sure to subscribe to the Sara Carter Show here on your favorite podcast app. It really helps. I'd love for you to follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on X at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at S Carter DC. Remember, give us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. I read them all. God bless you. God bless our great nation. God bless our children and our families, and a future that we can hope for, and a future that we can be proud of. And God bless the great state of Texas, and Pennsylvania for that matter.